Are you surprised? Do you have anything to say now that you know? What are your thoughts? How are you taking the news that streamers fake their fun? But let me lead you down a path here and kind of get into a contradictory thought process that almost doesn't even make sense. I'm gonna enlighten you a little bit on this streamers faking their fun because I've thought about it. Because I've sat there and streamed games and like, how the hell do you make yourself so attractive? How do you make yourself so, good that people want to watch you? Like, what are you supposed to do? What is in the sequence? You know what I mean? And there's a lot of things you can do, but it's simply just having a presence, having a character, having an energy. And it takes a long time to keep that energy flowing, and not everyone can do it, especially on a live stream, you know? Because I've tried it many times, and like right here, I'm trying to keep the energy going, and it's just hard, it's a skill, it's a talent, it's something that not everyone can do, and let alone everyone can succeed at. And there's a lot of streamers out there. There's a lot of people with maybe like loyal audiences, and maybe it's not that many people. And whenever you look at 2,000 people or 1,000 people or 500 people that'll watch your stream, like it's not that much, but it's a lot depending on how you look at it. It's kind of cup half full situation. Because like if you're streaming with nothing, I mean that's better than nothing. But are you going to be able to make a living off it and stuff like that? And I think that's where some of them don't really get that, you know, they need to do something more than what they're able to do. Like you should not be yourself probably. See, this is where it gets kind of complicated, cuz it's like you say you have to do something to satisfy people, to entertain them. And so you have to go beyond what you are naturally. And a lot of people have natural personalities. Like, some people are like soft spoken, some people are pretty timid, or, the whole camera shy thing is one thing. But what I'm trying to get at is, you know, you can't be what you aren't, but whenever you need to be something more, then you need to put more into it. So, it's pretty much, part of it's like mastering your personality and making it marketable to other people in sort of a way that they feel like they're comfortable with and they want to watch and hang out with you. And oh my God, you're so acclaimed. I'm your fan. You're so great. We have so much fun together. But I do feel like people that stream really well, they have to be able to just create fun kind of thing. Like you pretty much just take it out of nowhere and there it is, like you can just poof, it's there. And I don't think everyone can really do that or make it an experience that it's so amplified. And but fun is one thing, but drama is another, you know what I mean? And drama and action drama, especially because action drama is kind of a weird thing, because like action drama is like, not necessarily comedy, but it can mix in with comedy. So if you want to say fun, it's kind of a weird thing, because like if you watch like a really good action movie, not that any are being produced in nowadays. Just joking. There's a lot of them. We're in the golden age of action films. But just saying, you are you really having fun? You know what I'm saying? So that's kind of the whole thing too. Is if you just say, "Oh, I'm entertained," and everybody who's entertained is having fun. Because I don't think that a lot of people are searching for fun, because it depends on your definition of fun. Because fun can be something where people aren't exactly smiling, but you're still having fun. Like you're having the time of your life. Say you like wrestling or fighting. Like everyone's, you know like against each other, like tensions are high, you know what I mean? It's supposed to be dramatic. It's not you're supposed supposed to be this happy, everybody's smiling and laughing necessarily, but that's kind of the crazy thing too, is because some serious acts are funny because of how serious they are. So like honestly, I don't know, man. It's like if you could watch a fight or something or something that's serious and just laugh at it, you know. So that's another thing too that's kind of weird because, you know, it's funny cuz I've listened to songs before that were really like popular songs that were just kind of corny and just so like it's like a really popular song, but it's almost corny and it's like I'm almost listening to it just to make fun of it. Like not that I'm saying anything fun of it, just like the way I'm thinking of it is you know. So I don't know, man. It's kind of crazy to think about because like people might watch me because they think it's funny. Like they might think I'm dumb or something. Like ha 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 ha. This is so funny. This guy's so stupid. You know, and and I don't care. I don't care if you want to watch me if I'm funny, but it's just crazy to think that a lot of those streamers out there, and there's a lot of them, and they've been grinding for a while. That some have been grinding more than others, but I think maybe you do reach a point where you're like, where do you break away from the day to day gameplay? How do you get out of that? Just playing a game, someone comes on your stream, oh hey, thanks, hey, how's it going? Blah blah blah, and then they leave, or then someone might donate. Say someone donates, oh thank you for the donation, and you just keep on going, like almost like you're just not, like almost like you're not really doing anything above and beyond. Like holy shit, this guy's energy is off the chart. This guy's like I don't know, like something he's really like getting in there kind of thing. And I think in order to do something like that, you kind of just have to fucking like it's just a big joke anyway, so like it's almost like people just struggle doing that, but a lot of the people that I see that kind of do it are kind of creating it kind of manufacturing it, kind of like making it real, but it's fun for them to try to like it's almost like think about this like this. If you were depressed, right? And you tried to be happy, right? And you just tried, you attempted to do that. You tried to make yourself feel happiness. Like you tried to make yourself laugh, right? And maybe you couldn't do it right then. But just say you tried. Because a lot of people, maybe they don't even really try. Maybe they're just not good at that aspect of it. So they're always sad and stuff. And I'm not necessarily trying to say, that is, by diagnosis, oh, you're just depressed because you don't know how to laugh. You didn't learn how to laugh. Live, learn, and laugh. That's the solution. So I'm not trying to say that, but you get what I'm saying? It's like maybe if you tried over time, maybe there would be a difference. Or like, you know what I mean? Like maybe working out or something. But what I'm trying to get at is that when you apply that to a streamer, like say you don't have those skills, you're just kind of playing, and how do you kind of elevate it? What makes it an elevated experience? Is your ability to make it funner than just like images on a screen. Because if you think about it, a video game is just images on a screen. You're just clicking little plastic little sticks or plastic little keys, and it's images and it's sounds that are in front of you. It's not real. It's just that's what it is. So, and if you really want to, get at it, it's like, well, that's what life is. It's just a series of images and sounds and, you know, sensational things that are sensational to the human being because of the human brain demands something of interest, something of quality to have a purpose. So it's just crazy to think that the real the realness the reality of the situation is people that good at streaming are people that get good at creating fun or creating an experience out of nothing. So that's what you really got to do. And it's hard. And there's a reason why it's so hard to do because it takes work to do it. And over time, I think that's why you see someone like if you watch a lot of streamers, you notice that some of the more popular ones, some of them have been around for a while and have been doing it a long time. Or they're just a person that is like just super talented and they're able to appeal to a lot of people, you know what I mean? So, it's kind of comes in different splurges and splashes. I mean, it seems like some people are popular for a little bit and they might fall off or come back up. And there's just so many of them too, and it's almost sad to just look at how spread out it is because it's like only some of them really succeed a lot. But if all they're doing is just almost creating a fake experience for themselves, I think some of them don't even realize they're doing it, and that's what they're just good at it because they just have such an experience when they game that they don't realize that it's really their imagination that's making everything work. You're holding all the pieces together there just because of the way your brain works. And some people's don't brains don't work properly. Like, who really is born pre-programmed to stream video games to a bunch of people and stuff? You might want to raise your kid at birth with a little mic and a little TV. Trying to get them to be a pro streamer at that point, because it seems like the longer you do it, the more you start to realize that you got to kind of create an experience. And I know how to do it. I know how to create experiences. It just takes such a high amount of energy because just the way you look has to come, like, it depends on what you're going for, but that's basically acting at that point. That's pretty much acting. And people, like, a lot of people don't really see that stuff as acting, I think, and they kind of don't get that you almost have to be an actor to really elevate the experience. But some people just, they're crazy. See, here's the thing about acting is some people are so crazy they are the real character, which is crazy because that's like another little controversy. It's like the whole thing of, well, are they having fun, or are they having fun because they're creating fun, because they have fun creating fun? But also, you have more fun when people are watching you too. So if you're sitting there playing a video game and you got bored, maybe it's because you're not making it fun. And also because your imagination doesn't have the capacity to care about it that much, kind of thing. Like, you care about other things, and so you know, and gamers essentially just like pretty much living in a fake reality type thing where they can do things that they can't do in real life. That's pretty much the point of it. Is I'm in control. I can shoot people, right? And I can get away with it. It's all fake and it's fun. So I guess there's just a lot of like ways to look at that, but for me personally, like streaming, like I haven't been streaming for a couple weeks. So I'm trying to get a new motherboard and stuff. Like, I'm trying to get some stuff situated to up my quality of my stream because it's in high demand. Like, it's pretty expensive to have like a good streaming PC, especially if you're going to stream some like high performance games and stuff. So I've been learning a lot about computers and stuff, but that's a whole nother subject. But and I think that's part of the thing that people, it's hard to do it because you don't know you're trying to do it, probably. Like you probably like most people probably don't even know how to do it. Or I think there's a lot of streamers that they can't elevate the experience because they don't want to, because they're comfortable, which is just not, like, it's not really like it's not you, it's not about you, it's about the people. And so this is kind of taking it a little bit far. It's kind of in depth, and almost just like doesn't even make sense in a way, because it's like it's almost contradictory in itself, because I think a lot of people naturally are just going to do what it is they're going to do, and they're not going to try to do something else. And I think part of the thing is once you try to step out of your natural self, or step into a character, or step into something that you're just not good at, then it's harder to be able to do it and do it in a way that's going to appeal to a lot of people. And everything has to be just right, and you have to be on point all the time. And and there's just, some people don't like video games, some people don't like certain games, and so it gets very, and that's kind of what's happened with streaming, is like it's so exact. You need a very personalized experience. And that's kind of the bad part, is because people used to just watch TV, right? And there's a lot of there's probably less variation back way back then, because there's more variation, which means people make less money because they have less of an audience. And that's kinda crazy to think about too, because it's like, what do they even have as far as entertainment goes, like, before the internet, before streaming? And you just take a look at everything that's happening with streaming right now, and, like, the way it's, like, almost integrating into society in its own way, and there's more and more gamers every year, and it's just getting crazier and crazier. You know, PC parts are getting cheaper, and things are becoming, so sophisticated in the technology, it's like a technological revolution really, and gaming what came out of that. And gaming is fairly new to the human race. And I almost think acting is too, and doing, performing, performing on streams is actually a fairly new thing to the human race. So I mean, it's kind of hard to say that like everybody you watch is fake, because they could be so crazy that they actually believe in their own bullshit. Like they believe in what their character and what they're doing so much. It's not even a character. That's the real them. Like it's like kind of like an esports person who's they play really hard, and it's crazy because the reason why they're playing so hard is kind of to reach that sort of they need to satisfy this ego for whatever reason. People have a multitude of reasons. Maybe they didn't you know succeed that much in their life, and they felt like a loser, and they feel the need to achieve a lot to be able to get noticed and stuff. But I don't know, that's kind of the bad end of it, because a lot of people just play video games, it's positive, it's entertaining, blah 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 blah, open and shut. You don't have to really think about it that much more. But you kind of start to think about it a little bit, and if you're streaming something and people are leaving, it's like, well, you got to do something, and the part about it is people hop into stuff, and they don't realize like how it's almost dangerous in a way, and people don't get that. Like if you try to like if you're trying to acting is actually kind of a very hard thing to do. And but it can be, if you do it the wrong way, I guess. It's like it's almost like you go into character, and that character can like become a part of you, or you deal with controversy and stuff, and it can be very high strung, so it can really, like, it can be too much for you if you try to do something that's like, it's too much for you to try to like, you probably couldn't even do, like, most people probably couldn't even do that good of a character, because they don't practice enough, they never experimented, they're not trying really hard enough. And, a lot of the people that are successful with acting and stuff, that's what they do, is they just sit there and practice the same lines and stuff over and over and over again. It's just a lot to really think about all of it. And, so it's kinda crazy, I think that some people don't realize that, if you go in and try to be a streamer, and this is something not a lot of people, like, I've never even heard anyone talk about this stuff, because I don't think like the streaming community is really connected to the acting aspect of it, in a sense that a lot of people talk about it, or a lot of people are kind of like a lot of people are aware of it, like, because it's almost a combination. Because if you think about streaming, it's not just gaming. When you game at home, you're just gaming because you want to game, man. But in the game, there are this is a pretty in-depth topic. In the game, there are a lot of kind of there are characters, and you're a character in the game, and when you win, that makes you feel good. But you don't have to do any of the physical stuff, or you don't have to risk your life. Like if you die in a game, So it's kind of like there's a lot of things that go in the game, like the satisfaction of winning, and kind of the psychological kind of process that happens with winning. And a lot of people lose over and over, and they just keep going. And there's a lot of people like that like you play to be better, but you're just not really that great. And that's what I'm saying. Even just playing a game is almost abusing yourself, especially if you're like feeling like shit, or bounce back with and forth with your self-esteem. Maybe you're not having a self-esteem battle. Maybe you're not winning or losing a game. Maybe you're just like having a self-esteem battle with yourself, where you want to win the game to feel better about yourself. And that, I don't know, that might appeal to some people. So like a lot of that stuff is kind of hard to stamp on everybody's forehead and say this is what's going on with you and this is what you need to do to make things right, because it's just like it's hard to really, I don't know, man. Like someone's this guy's peak and this guy's peak are completely different, and maybe there's steps they can do to make things different, but maybe not. And maybe it's going to take some time, or maybe you're just never going to be that popular and appeal to people, because all you're really trying to do is just stream and make money, or be famous or some shit. And it's like, I don't know, man. In my experience, you kind of have to be a little bit of a real person. So whether you get there by acting or not acting, you're just genuinely a person who's passionate and connect to people, and they feel like they belong there. Or if you're a person who just makes yourself believe that they have to do it, because it's kind of weird how like someone can lie to themselves and be like, I kind of think someone could lie to themselves and be like, yeah, I really do love streaming. I love people. I love the community. I love it. And I almost think it's just bullshit, like a lot of the time. And, it's kind of crazy with the way audiences work, because it's like, oh, they'll cancel you if you do something wrong. And you got to think about all the things that they're doing right. And you give them the significance, you give them the respect. Whenever they do something, you're the fan who says, wow, that was so amazing. So, it's kind of crazy to think about that, because to another person, they don't even care about what this person did. Like, oh, wow, that's cool. Like, it's so epic. You know what I'm saying? And that's why I'm saying, like, whenever there are a lot of things I'm trying to explain, and it's kind of trailing off, and I don't even know if anybody really gives a shit, but this is kind of like interesting stuff that I was thinking about. But what I'm really trying to get at is the whole idea of basically a streamer, right? You have this streamer, and they're streaming and they're streaming and they're streaming, and maybe they get some people on, maybe they don't get that many, maybe they do get some, like maybe a couple hundred, or maybe like 30, or whatever they get. And I think to a certain point, what you're doing is just not gonna work. Like it's almost like just doing it, and then it's like, oh well, that didn't work, and then you do it again. Oh no, that didn't work, and that's kind of how it goes. It's kind of trial and error, because it's like, oh no, this didn't work out that well. Oh no, this didn't work out that well. Oh no, this didn't work. And like me personally, I wasn't able to get that popular as a streamer. Um, but I'm just like, this is part of the thought process that I'm learning right now. And and yeah, it is hard work to maintain a stream the entire time and be funny and interesting for hours and hours and hours every day. It's a lot of pressure, and it can take time to build it up. But what I'm trying to say is, you try trial and error. It's like, oh, this didn't work. It did, or like maybe you think it went well. This is a crazy thing to think about. This is like a thing that I see all the time, and it's crazy because it's like, say you got okay, you got a guy with two average viewers of 2,000, people on a stream. Then you got a guy with average of 20,000, right? And maybe you go up and down, and maybe it depends on what you're playing, how popular the game is, how well you're able to perform when you're streaming. Because people go through ups and downs in life, just like they go through up and downs in performances. Like there's some people that are like in movies, like some people are known for like a couple things, but it's kind of a lot of the stuff they do is controversial and it's going to appeal to certain people, or as far as like the pinnacle of success or the most success they can get, you know, it's it can be like a matter of just keeping it going, and maybe you'll get lucky somewhere along the line. So if you think about it in the long term, it's just about that grind. You can't just like, oh, I streamed, I'm a billionaire or something. I did one stream and I'm a billionaire. It's just this is good. This is a long video, but I'm just trying to explain this stuff. But so say you're just, you need to elevate it somehow. And a lot of people, if you watch them play video games, like especially in their early days, or you know, when you first start streaming, you don't really like. It depends on who you are, but most people, it seems like they're not really doing it that well because of different reasons. Being comfortable, but also connecting with people, but also the way that you look, the way that you make people feel. That's a really big thing, is the way you make people feel, which is kind of a crazy thing to think. This person clicked on my face, my name online, or whatever fake character or whatever the hell you're doing. They clicked on this, and, you know, it makes me feel good or bad, right? So essentially, that's a big part of it, is you want everyone in the world, if you want the most success, right? And you're just like, I just want to succeed as much as possible. I want everybody in the world to watch my stream. Just take it to the extreme. That's the most success you can get. Everybody in the world watching your stream every minute of the day. It's not going to happen for anybody. It's impossible. Unless someone wants to prove me wrong. Go ahead. Do it. Dude, I do it. Everyone in the world watching your stream. Like, no, people are busy. They can't all watch your stream at once. But, um, so I mean, how are you gonna elevate it? You got to fake the fun. That's what I'm trying to say, is you got to fake fun, or fake whatever kind of experience you're trying to make. Because I was just watching I've been watching a lot of streamers lately, and I've been kind of observing the behavior, and it's kind of a lot to process if you really want to think about it, and to get in the meat and potatoes, what's going on. And it's crazy because I do think some people are almost in a paradox of fun, where it's fun to create fun, but if no one was watching, then would you really be having fun? You would probably be having less fun. So, but you need to be able to create fun in order for people to watch you. So you have to always have good, positive energy no matter what happens, in order to maintain it. So if you really think about it, that's crazy to think about. So basically, there is no retracting to your old self, where you're just the sad, sorry son of a bitch who works at the gas station and goes home and play video games, and then watch someone streamed and they made it seem very fun, and then so you tried it, and then you got involved, and you probably bit off more than you can chew. And that's another thing too, is so streaming works the best, I think, when a person is actually passionate about acting, because acting is the key component. It's a key component to entertainment. It's in all of the entertainment industry. It's one of the main things in the entertainment industry that keeps it flowing. So without acting, you're kind of just a person playing a game. But if you're playing a game really well, you have to ask yourself, are you a character playing a role in your own ego and the story that you're completing, even if you're not doing like very many like characterizations. Because there's a lot of like pro players in esports and stuff, they're not really doing all that other spicy stuff that streamers do. They're just doing that part. But you got to ask yourself, to a certain point, is it all kind of the same? And does everyone have a different idea of fun? And maybe fun isn't smiling and you know, fun, as they say, deprived from the word funny. So that's kind of a crazy thing to kind of break all that down, I guess. And I've talked way too long. This has been a half an hour, but I was thinking about this stuff, and it was really interesting to me whenever I watched several different streamers, and one particular moment when the guy was very excited, or he had like a very intense reaction to what happened, okay? And he screamed, right? And I just was sitting there observing this, and I'm just like, okay, there was no possible way you were having fun. But obviously he's having fun. It's very believable, okay? It's very he even believes it, right? But there's just no way you played this game for this amount of time and you're still having fun playing the game. It's because it's like a DLC to the original game that most people would play and get bored with, right? So you got to download that into your computer of a brain. And what I'm talking about is the ability to make it funner. It's making something fun that wouldn't be fun without you. And that's what you call challenge or whatever idea fun. I think fun can be very serious too, especially like mature adult fun. It can be sexy fun. No. But yeah, I know if you're watching this or listening to this, that might be a lot for your brain to absorb. All right. That may be a lot for you to process, but it is what is happening with these streams. And it's pretty crazy to think about too. So it's just, I guess you could probably rest in the conclusion of, yeah, um, some people just are good at streaming and some people have fun and others have a different idea of fun. Gets a little bit too it's a little bit too much of a definition at that point. But whenever you're watching someone, you just have to ask yourself, is this it's just crazy to think about, man. Cuz it's like it's not a person playing video games, man. If they're successful at it, especially. That's not a normal person playing video games. You're not watching some guy play video games. So what is the difference of just a guy with a controller and this guy over here? And a lot of it is like an emotional connection, And emotional, you say, oh, emotional, you think of crying. I think when you say emotional, you almost think of crying or sadness, but you can have a happy connection too. You know what I mean? You can have a happy connection or a sense of disconnection. So I've talked about this for far too long in this video. I could probably go on about it. My main thing that I wanted to get at was the whole idea of elevating a stream experience, what it takes, and the idea of fun that is actually not fun at all. The only reason why it's fun is because someone made it fun. They believed it was fun. It seemed fun. So I don't know. But here's one more thing, I guess. If you are having a lot of fun, how do you make it better at that point? Right? Maybe you're having too much fun. And a lot of people don't like too much fun. Too much fun can almost look stupid sometimes. So I don't know. See, now you're just getting into the ideas of what people think and the different personalities they like and all this. So, or I'm getting into it. So I'm gonna cut it there. Peace out. Or don't say peace out. I'll just wave.